Welcome to the Good Morning from the Chicken Coop podcast with Kim Johnson, your creative strategist and master mindset coach. Filled with inspiration, distinctions, perspectives, and possibilities, we help you to cultivate a mindset that leads you to create the best version of yourself you could ever imagine. Join Kim every morning from one of her favorite happy places, her chicken coop, along with all her chickens.
Hey everybody, good morning from the chicken coop. So today's question for you, who do you look up to? This is a very serious question because I think that most of us don't necessarily consider and take an inventory of who we actually admire, who we look up to, who we put up on, I don't even want to say some sort of a pedestal, but maybe some sort of a pedestal where we think that this person is the bomb, yet we know very little about this person. And where this really comes into play is with celebrity. So I'm not saying that you're doing this with celebrity, but it really does come into play with celebrity because you don't know the people the way you think you know the people. And having been in an industry for a very long time, working with tons of different speakers and authors and trainers, you tend to think because you read their book or you've seen them live or you've had some touch points of maybe at a conference with them that you know them. Well, let me ask you this. Do you really even know the people that you have in your own personal life? We always think we're so shocked when we hear on the news that somebody, our neighbor, did something. We'll say, oh, everybody always says the same thing. Oh, he was such a nice guy. Or no, he never showed any signs of anything. Well, that just always comes back to the statement that I made a few seconds ago when I said, well, do we ever really know anybody? And I think it's valid, especially when you're in the position of talking about who do you look up to, because this is vital if this is part of your decision-making process and you're looking for someone that you look up to in order to ask advice from or get direction from or just get opinions from. And you don't even know the person, yet you are really trying to get them to help you. So it puts us in a position where we have to stop and pause and we have to ask, okay, who are the people that I think I know really well, and who are the people that I really want to take advice from? Who do I want to put on my advisory board? Napoleon Hill talked about having an advisory board, and many great thinkers have. He's not the only one, but he had a very unique view of it, and he actually would go to think about what somebody who had already passed away, dead people are his advisory board. If you've ever read the book Outwitting the Devil, then you'll know he talks about this in that book. And I don't think it's a bad idea on any stretch of the means, because you can basically say, this is the person's character, this is the person that I know from the biographies or whatever, and project. And that is completely possible. And you are using the projections from the best of the person, so to speak, as opposed to when you are dealing with a whole person right now. You don't know if they have ulterior motives. You don't know if they have other things going on behind the scenes. So why is this so important to us? Why is it that we need to pay attention to this kind of thing? Because it doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal. If the person gives you your advice, you don't have to use it. Well, if they have influence over you, it's a big deal. And if you are constantly looking outside of yourself for answers, then the question you have to come back to is why? What's the reason that you're always driving back to outside yourself? Is it that you have a certain amount of distrust in yourself? Do you have a certain amount of, just feeling ill ease about things and you just don't have certainty? So you're looking for it. Well, that presents a bigger question in itself of, is there a way for you to start to create certainty in your own decisions? Because ultimately, that's what you want to be able to do. You want to be able to make decisions for yourself, and you want to be able to make decisions that make you feel good and move you towards your directive, towards your goals, towards your outcomes. And if you're constantly looking to people who are outside of you for that recognition or that affirmation of, yes, this is a good direction to go, you're probably going to run into a lot of roadblocks, because most people will inherently, you can't get around this, will give you the negatives of things. And that's because human beings are hardwired to find what's wrong. So people aren't doing it to be mean. They aren't doing it to be destructive, albeit some do that, and there are ill intent. Really, it comes from a fact that we are trying to protect everybody. We always look for what's wrong so we can protect ourselves. But in this case, you're supposed to be able to support yourself internally, figure out what you need internally, and do what's best for you. And that always starts from that place inside, deep inside, and figuring out, is this right for me, without anybody else's opinions influencing you. Do I think it's great to go out and get different opinions? Yes. Do I think you should listen to them all? No. I think it's a collective. I think if you trust someone and you really want to ask them, you have to ask yourself, what's the reason I trust this person? I think it is an excellent exercise to have in your mind, or even on paper, a formulated, trusted advisory board that you go to ask opinions. I have that in my life, and it's very small. Let me be very clear about this. This board is very small, and there are only a few people on that board. And I will ask questions of them because I know that they will give me their true opinions, unfiltered, albeit sometimes they're hard to hear. And I know that I can still make my decision, and whatever my decision is, they will support me in those decisions. But I have them. And then it's a question of, well, what do I want to do myself? So I'm going to give you guys that as a homework assignment. Go off, figure out, who do I look up to? And actually write down the reasons why you look up to those people, and make sure that those people are worthy of being in this position, being somebody that you should look up to. And even if they're not in your personal life, even if there are people who are out there that are, celebrities, you should put that on the piece of paper. If you look up to somebody, and say, what's the reason I look up to this person? Really figure it out, because you really don't know a whole person's life behind the scenes. And it's important. If you're trying to emulate them and you like what they're producing in their life and you want to emulate that in your life, you better know all the aspects of it before you decide to take them on as an advisor in your mind, and really say, oh, this is what I'm trying to do, because you don't know the whole scene. So do your research, make sure within yourself you know who you look up to, whether it's in your personal life or celebrity life, professional, whatever it might be. Make sure you really do the research and choose and finitely pick those attributes that you want to borrow, but nothing more. All right, I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.